Valley Mole.
Hi, I'm David Smith and this is Valley Mole, the show that digs in and around Silicon Valley, searching for insights into technology news stories, the patent wars, and the business of startups. On Halloween, it seems like the perfect time to discuss the topic of patent trolls. Are patent trolls all bad? Are they entirely evil? Or are they simply some nice people out trick-or-treating? Now, the term patent troll was coined by Peter Detkin, who at the time was the Assistant General Counsel at Intel, a large corporation. Now, trolls don't build products, but what Detkin was referring to was saying they kind of wait under the bridge and extract a toll from these large companies like Intel through some form of extortion. So that's where the word came from, and it's been used by large corporate defendants in lawsuits ever since. Now, obviously, the troll is a derogatory term that has a good effect with the jury. If you are in a lawsuit, you might want to have the jury think of these patent licensing organizations as these evil trolls. But why are they so despised? Well, I think one good reason is they're lawyers. That's probably a good reason for them to be called trolls in the first place, but never mind. They don't make products themselves, but they do extract royalties from large corporations, and they are clearly despised by the large corporations against whom they assert their patents in court. Now, asserting patents in court may seem like a nasty business, but actually it's the only thing you can really do with a patent. A patent is an exclusive right. It's a right to exclude other people from practicing your invention without a license from you. So it's an exclusive right. You have a right when you hold a patent to go out, find infringers, go to the court, which is the federal court in the United States, and ask the court to, 1, stop the infringement by issuing an injunction, and 2, force the infringer to pay you a royalty for the infringement that's taken place so far, the type of royalty that you would have been awarded if you'd negotiated a license fee with that infringer. So basically, other than that, the patent is pretty useless. You can file child patents from a parent patent, but the patent does not necessarily give you a right to manufacture a product, because your product may infringe patents held by others. It's a right to exclude others. It's a right to go to court and have the court force others to stop practicing your invention and to pay you a royalty for the products that have been sold that include your patented invention. Now, here are some hidden truths about patent trolls. Large corporations actually feed them. Large corporations often take patents, give them to the trolls and say, here are some nice patents for you, and over there our competitors are infringing those patents. Why don't you go and see how much you can extract from our competitors? Now, of course, these large corporations could assert the patents themselves, but they don't want to do that. It's easier and cleaner to give the dirty work to the patent trolls. Now, another secret here is that the anti-troll groups, there are lots of organizations that earn their living by being in the anti-troll brigade. And one of the awful secrets is that they actually feed the trolls as well. You're kind of out of a job if your business is an anti-troll group, if there are no trolls out there. So often those people that are most vehemently against the trolls are actually feeding them with patents to go and litigate. The patent industry is feeding the trolls. The patent prosecutors, these patent attorneys and agents whose job is to go prosecute patents and get patents awarded for their clients, if there were no licensing of those patents and the patents couldn't be litigated and royalties extracted from them later on, there would be no need for the services of the patent prosecution guys. So the patent attorneys, the patent agents that are filing patents, they're also feeding the trolls with patents to go and license. Now, the argument could be that the patent trolls do all the dirty work in the industry that has to be done with the nature of patents, and they take all the rap. So let's have a look at the other argument. The argument could be that the trolls are the champions of the poor. They help the poor, undertrodden entrepreneur whose startup company was squeezed out of the market by the large corporation. The trolls come in, there's nowhere else for the entrepreneur to turn. They don't have war chests of funds. They're not taken seriously by large corporations. Often what happens, if you're a small patent holder and you find a large corporation that's infringing your patent, you approach that large corporation and say, would you like to pay as a royalty? What happens is the large corporation turns around and says, well, are you going to sue me if you don't? And do you have a war chest of funds and an army of lawyers? And you say, well, no. And they say, okay, well, there's no need for us to pay a royalty then. So basically, often the trolls come in and they help the small companies to assert their patent rights against large corporations. And you could argue it's the only way to stand up to these large corporate bullies. So there is a counter-argument for the trolls that is very rarely heard. Interestingly, the man that actually coined the term patent troll now works for the largest patent licensing company on the planet. And he defends the rights of patent holders to license their inventions and earn royalties. So he's not exactly in the anti-troll camp today. Now, so at a time when we have all these protests occupying Wall Street, they're protesting against large corporations and corporate greed. At this time, the anti-troll campaign seems to be lobbying for large corporations and blocking the smaller patent holders from being able to assert their patent rights against these large corporations. So, on Halloween, if a patent troll comes knocking at your door, you don't have to run screaming. Just give him some candy. We'd like to thank the sponsors of Valley Mole. Tynex, the full-service patent broker, operating the world's largest patent and technology trading exchange. Silicon Valley Business School, offering unique educational programs and materials to students and teachers of entrepreneurship and technology commercialization. And ValueMyPatent.com, the only place to go for rapid, realistic patent appraisals.